Hello people, this is Christian Leal with my second tutorial, and this time we're gonna do this effect. It's a transition, and what I want to show you here is that you can use the edges of your mask and put a particle system on it, and it gets a cool effect. I'm sorry I tried to release this tutorial before Valentine here and make some kind of Valentine special, but it didn't work out. I have a lot of problems with my Cam Studio, my recording software, and I can't figure it out right now how to solve that. So I just try to do my best here if I can explain. And well, just I started there. I put some I prepared my folder I'm doing here in a curve. I'm trying to hardcore make a heart. If it's too difficult, you should use an image reference for your shape, and I'm just trying to make something here, and I use a mirror modifier there and apply some clipping. And what's really important here is to increase the resolution of the curve before you make it to a mesh. And I believe I'm almost pretty satisfied. I didn't work so much on this heart. And now I go and increase to 64 there. So when I convert that to a mesh now, I have a lot of verts there, and it's a smooth and nice shape. I duplicate that and I call it another name there, heart, because I'm gonna use that heart later. I'm gonna use only 40 frames, about 1.5 seconds, and I think that's okay for a transition because I'm using 24 frames per second. 40 frames is about 1.5 seconds. So now I'm go to the last frame and make a keyframe for scaling. I go to the first frame and scale 0. And don't forget to put your keyframe there. And now you see the heart is animated. I go to the graph editor and change the handle type to vector, and that's because I wanted to had a constant speed, or don't slow down or speed up or something, just the same speed the whole animation. I make now my particle system with 5,000. You can have your own, of course, but for me this worked out. 40 frames and a lifetime of 5. I want them to die out really fast, so I don't have a lot of particles growing while the animation is going on. And the normal geometry, I wanted to shoot out in the outside of the heart, and I slow down with the damping. So I have a couple of particles outside the heart and some other particles in the inside. So now I will work with I make a face there, and I want some borders. I make an inset, and I will make 2 materials here, one for the border and one from the inside. You can of course have whatever shape you want. I just in this example showed you the same heart as a particle. So I'm going for a dark color for the border, and I make another one for the inside, a little brighter color, and assign that. And well, that's what I'm trying to do now. And I'm going to add 2 lamps. You can add more lamps, you can do whatever you want, but I'm going to use 2 sun lamps with some colors on it. Sometimes I use shadeless icospheres if I want to do other kind of effects in the compositor, and I use a shadeless material And you can see that like that because it's a halo. I guess it's a halo now in the particle system. Yeah, that's right, a halo. Now I go to object and change to my, I thought I changed the name there to heart, but something went wrong. So I like to have the names, the correct name of my, of what I want to use. I go back there and change the name. And you have to have caps lock activated so everything goes upside down. And heart, and there it is. The size is too small. And I will change the background to transparent. And that's because it's easy for me in using the blending mode later in the video sequence editor. Just for this effect. For other effect, maybe you want to add or something and it doesn't matter. Now I'm sizing up and working with my rotation. Normal tangent works for me in this example. So, and I'm gonna randomize the rotation, so I got this effect. And I'm going for the illustrated type of style here. I have some kind of illustrated style. Here I'm animating the size. I want it to be really tiny at the beginning, and then when it's growing I will increase the size. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing there. And probably I should also change the format, vector format on that curve, but I didn't do that. So I make another keyframe there for just the beginning, and I'm satisfied with that. I'm gonna work more with the material of the heart here, and I want to use transparency. Take down the alpha there, so that makes it look good for me in this case. I will make also a clouds texture to make the colors to be more variation of the colors. I use a color hard, and you can do whatever. You can use clouds if you want, but I just use this one. And you have to change the UV type to object, or even world maybe works also, but object generated. Or but if you haven't UV unwrapped, you should take another UV format and add there. I make the blending mode to add, to make it look brighter, and I'm working there with the size of the texture. You won't see the texture there, but above there you can see how big every cloud or particle, or it's a cloud texture, yeah. So I'm working around here, and to be honest, I know when I did this, I'm not happy with the result. I don't like the colors, something is wrong, but I have to keep going, and I don't know what the problem is, because I've done this a couple of times and I have better results. I think it has to do with the lamps. Maybe I didn't do anything to the lamps. So here you see I'm not knowing what I'm really doing here. I'm just moving around translucency, and I'm thinking there. What I used to change here to another form of the specular, and that's not looking good. It's too bright. Maybe saturation is too much also. There you can play with it. I like colorful saturated colors, but maybe it's too much this time. I changed the color of the specular there to make it more vivid with a yellow, some light yellow there. If I decrease the alpha, I think it could give good results actually, but well, you got the idea. You can use any shape, and you can even use the compositor to use glow effects, glare and directional blur and all that kind of stuff. And you can even, instead of randomizing the particles, you could use a lot of settings. You have to play with the particles. So you could use children, the Brownians, or if you want some swirling pedals or something, you could have two particle systems working together, no, and make even cooler effects. So I'm just trying with the emit there. I'm desperate trying to fix it, but it doesn't work. So I think I give up all soon and just export it and make an image sequence of this. And I try to make these effects as long as I can as an image sequence. And that's not because I'm afraid of breaking, that something is gonna break or something. It's just because you get a better quality. If you try to do movies right away of your effects, there will be a lot of compression and it won't look good. So you keep it as an image sequence as long as you can, and then you make the last step, it's make it a movie. So I'm really thinking there. I know I give up there, and I try to use a folder. I'm gonna make a new folder that I call particles. I wanna have all, because it's an image sequence, I wanna have it in my own folder, and I increase the color depth to 16 RGBA animation. Yeah, that's. And how long did it take? About, I can see that 2 seconds each frame, or 3 seconds or something, and it's only 40 frames. It takes about 2 minutes. It's not that awful, to be honest, and that's the cool stuff making these transitions, because you have so you don't have many frames. 1.5 seconds is not that much. It took about 2-3 minutes there. And now we'll go to the particles and hide that. No, don't see, don't render, and I make a face of that, face on that, and use a white, all white. Really important to have see all white and shadeless. And then I go to my horizon color there to all black, and use the sky mode, the alpha mode to sky there, and I move my lamps so they are not affecting, and I make the same animation there. I render it out there, and I make a new folder for the mask, and I will render that out. And I think that's even faster, because, and I take just 8 in color depth, 8 bits. I don't need any more for a mask. So that takes 1 second, so about 40 seconds, maybe 1 minute or something. And you have to look at the resolution. It's full HD 100%, so it's really fast. And now go to the video editing, and I will start working with the film. So I go to I prepared there my images. I haven't done any color correction on this or something. I just downloaded the pictures, and just to show something. My idea was to do a Valentine special, like I told you, and it didn't work out. So here I know I will animate the scaling here. I will do this Karen Burns effect, and that's pretty weird in Blender, to be honest. You need to add a effect strip to make these settings. So now you will work with the transform instead of the real original image. So that green strip is representing the image. So the best thing is to what I'm doing there is because I hide those, because I won't work with those anymore. I work only with the greens now. What I'm doing there is I want each image to show about 2 seconds. So it's 2 seconds before it makes the transition to the another. And I click that one, I will animate that. I go to uniform scale there and make a keyframe just the first 4 frames, scale keyframe 1, and then when it's just before the mask starts, the first one I don't use that much, 0.5, just a tiny scaling there. And then when the mask starts, I do this effect of, and maybe I don't show that yet. I'm gonna do an effect that it's, no, I'm gonna add now my mask. I go to my folder there and insert my mask there. And I will go to that strip, the transform, because that's representing, and that's where I apply the mask. I go and search for the mask. I will change the name of that to mask. And that's what I'm doing there. So it's easy to find later. I'm in the wrong, I have to change now. I have to go to the green there, yeah. And there's a mask. So now it knows I go to unmute the strip, hide it. So now you see it's masked, but I have to make an alpha mode, the alpha over mode, I mean. And there is the mask with the new footage image. I copy that, and you see I don't have to click the transform. It always follow the image, the original image. And I want more time, more space there, so, and I will add a new mask now for that one, and this should be mask 001 because it's a copy. So now I have that, and I have to change the alpha mode on this one to alpha over, the blend mode to alpha over. So I have my masking now done. I've animated just the first one, and now I'm gonna insert my effect. And because it's transparent, I can use alpha over or drop, overdrop. I use overdrop in this case, and there it is. So it's pretty easy, and now I will duplicate that, and it starts to get a bit slow when you have a lot of effects and clips. So what you can do is hide them with H and just let them be hidden, so it works a bit faster that way. But don't forget to unhide it before you render it all out, of course. And now what I want to do is, just when the mask starts there, I have this keyframe, but before it's all over the screen, you see it's the image below there, I scale it really big so it makes that effect like it's exploding or something when the new image comes to place. So now I will animate the second one and make this small scaling, just tiny until the next mask, before the next mask, 1.1, yeah. And I go forward a couple of frames. Now it's just right, yeah. So before it ends, so you have to see, I want to see the effect, so about there, yeah. I increase it to 3. It works for me. You can do whatever setting you want. You don't need to do this. I'm just showing you, of course. And I'm gonna change now the vector type, handle type for all of the transforms and scaling, and I unhide them so you see the effect. And I probably use some sound now, and you won't hear anything, but that's what I'm doing. So it's about 7 seconds, I'm not pretty satisfied with the effects, to be honest. I think the others were a lot better, but it's like that when you're doing a tutorial. I'm going to H.264. The encoding is AAC, and I call it something. I'm in the same folder, and no, there it is. I will call it movie, and I will render that out full HD. This is Christian Hall. This was my second tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it. Have fun, get inspired, and keep going.